G'day gamers, Aussie Wargamer here in Moree, Australia, and welcome to my channel. On this episode, I'll update you with my Cancon army progress and talk about the background of my Enchantress. So let's get to it, eh? Well, it's been a pretty productive last week and a half, which has been nice. I got my Bretonnian Lord on Pegasus completely done. I'm really happy with how this one turned out, and it's probably my favourite model in the army. I made a vine to wrap it around his lance to make it a little more special as it is Gaia Strike. And like the knights, I sculpted some leaves on his tabard as well, blending into the cloth. I also finished my 3 Kurnoth hunters that Alariel will summon. They've all been reposed, most notably the one jumping off the stump. Also did a little head swap with some skulls from the skull box, just to make them a little more sinister. And finally, I painted the Enchantress. This was a little tricky as I had to paint the entire front of the Enchantress before I put her on the deer and sculpted the back of her dress. Otherwise, it would have been too hard to paint the face and the belt because of the deer's antlers. I used the detail from a Kurnoth sword to create the end of her staff, adding a branch to give it a more natural look. I had a lot of fun painting the deer, so I might have to paint up a Wild Riders unit at some point. So all I have left to do now is Alariel, and then the army is done. Also have to finish the display board, make and paint up some terrain, and paint all my markers. I had a great idea for some combat gauges in the shape of a leaf, so I'll try and get those laser cut this week. So on to the background for me Enchantress. Deandra Springbrew grew up in Greywater Fastness. When she was 8, a knight in Cancon visited the city, observed the girl playing, and noted there was something unusual about her. Not a magical presence, but perhaps the potential for one. By the time she was 15, that potential was realised, as it became obvious she possessed magical energy. Her tutors noted an aura about her, and she began displaying the early signs of bearing magic. Deandra was accepted into the Collegiate Arcanum in Azerheim, where she spent 15 years studying the magic that manifests itself in the mortal realms. Once she had attained the level of mage, she made a request to return to her home in Greywater Fastness. On returning, Deandra discovered her father had been killed by the Sylvaneth in an assault on the city. Lusting for revenge, she approached the city guard, offering her services as a battle mage if any conflict with the Sylvaneth arose. A year passed and no such assault occurred. She had settled into life in the walled city, using her magic to make a living. She had met a young man by the name of Alexander Jadesmith, a city guardsman, when assisting the guard in an incident with a banshee. Shortly after, Jadesmith's company was called to the gate of the 7th Shard and onto Haish in an attempt to quell the tide of the undead night haunt that plagued the realms after Nagash's necroquake. Jadesmith invited Deandra to join him, and she eagerly accepted. This would give her an opportunity to seek the vengeance against the Sylvaneth she so desired. When her company came across Alariel during the encounter at Greywater Reach, the Everqueen sensed her magic and her animosity toward Alariel's Sylvaneth, and transformed her into the manner of a Bretonnian Enchantress, giving her the rather fitting name of Demoiselle du Loch. Alariel was careful to place the new memories she had for Jadesmith alongside her magical knowledge rather than over it. Alariel now had a powerful wizard under her thrall as she followed her call to glory. Well, that's all from me. On the next episode, I should be able to show you the whole army on the display board, which will be nice. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay tuned if you want to hear more of my voice. Catch us later.